Namaskar and welcome back to Delhi, the vibrant mega city which represents a beautiful amalgamation of history and onward march of modernity. And today, I intend to take you back to the Delhi of 16th century CE to meet a remarkable personality who exemplifies versatility. I'm talking about Rahim, whose couplets or dohas in Hindi are widely quoted and recited for their inherent wisdom, timeless values, and moral principles. To place him in the historical context, Rahim was born in 1556 CE, the year Emperor Akbar came to power. Rahim died in 1627 CE, the year in which Emperor Jahangir, Akbar's successor, passed away. But there is more to Rahim than his profound couplets. So let me begin the story with an admission. I knew about Rahim, the poet par excellence, since my school days. Popularly known as Rahim Das, his couplets are taught in schools across India and they are cited not only in literary and poetic circles but in everyday discourse as well. As a student of history, I knew about Abdur Rahim Khane Khana, the celebrated military general under Emperor Akbar. However, what I did not know at all until recently is that Rahim the poet and Abdur Rahim Khane Khana the military general are the one and the same person. By the way, how many of you knew that Rahim the poet and Abdur Rahim Khane Khana the military general are the one and the same person? I posed this question to some of my friends and discovered, to my consolation, that they too were equally uninformed in this regard. Let me ask another question. How many of you know that Rahim is buried in Delhi inside a large and elegant mausoleum right in the heart of this cosmopolitan city? And in case you have this piece of information, how many of you have actually visited this monument? Well, Rahim's tomb is situated in the bustling Nizamuddin area along the Mathura Road, a prominent avenue of Delhi which was part of the historical Grand Trunk Road, which, in its modern avatar, connects Delhi to Kolkata through National Highway 44 and subsequently National Highway 19. This tomb was built close to the Dargah of Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, the Sufi saint who lived during the 13th and 14th centuries CE. In fact, Humayun's tomb and several other monuments, including the tombs of two other famous poets, Amir Khusro and Mirza Ghalib, are situated close to the Dargah of Nizamuddin Aulia. Being buried close to the tomb of a Sufi saint was regarded as auspicious. You will get a glimpse of this 16th century monument called Sabz Burj as you approach Rahim's tomb. The entrance of Rahim's tomb is just beside the busy Mathura road. The Digital India Revolution with its motto, faceless, paperless and cashless, is in action here. The entry tickets must be bought online using the QR code displayed at the gate. This process is swift and hassle-free. This elegant tomb with pleasing symmetry was built by Rahim more than 400 years ago. In fact, Rahim erected it in memory of Mahabano, his beloved wife who died in 1598. Considering that Rahim was not an emperor, the size and grandeur of this monument tells us about his stature and influential position in no uncertain terms. It is evident that this tomb was inspired by the architectural design of Humayun's tomb nearby, which was built in 1560s, about 40 years before this tomb. Upon his death in 1627, Rahim was also buried in this tomb alongside his wife. Let me tell you an interesting fact. Most people consider that the Taj Mahal at Agra was the first monument built by the Mughals in memory of a woman. Well, this perception needs correction. To put it in context, Rahim had built this tomb in memory of his wife more than 30 years before the construction of Taj Mahal even started. It is therefore quite likely that Shah Jahan's decision to construct Taj Mahal in memory of his deceased wife Mumtaz Mahal was inspired by this tomb at Delhi. Rahim's name at birth was Khanzada Mirza Khan Abdur Rahim. He was the only son of Baram Khan, who was Emperor Akbar's regent, mentor, and subsequently the commander-in-chief of the Mughal army. But Rahim was only 4 years old when his father was assassinated in Gujarat on his way to Mecca. Rahim therefore grew up in the foster care of Emperor Akbar and his luxurious court. Here is a painting which shows that following his father's assassination, the 4-year-old Rahim is being received by Emperor Akbar. Rahim was a gifted and multifaceted personality. He excelled in numerous fields and eventually emerged as a leading statesman, courtier, soldier, poet, linguist, humanitarian, and patron of arts, literature, and architecture. Emperor Akbar had made Rahim the commander of 5,000 in the Mughal army with the title of Khan-e-Khana. He was one of the 9 important ministers in Akbar's court who were called the 9 Jewels or Navratna. The other 8 stalwarts were Raja Birwal, Tansen, Abul Fazl, Raja Mansingh, Faizi, Raja Todarmal, Mullah Do Piazza, and Fakir Aziauddin. What is exceptional about Rahim is that he wielded both pen and sword with excellence, a rare quality in the same person. As a military general, Rahim led the Mughal army in several important campaigns and played a key role in Mughal army's military victories in Gujarat, Sindh, and the Deccan, among other places. Rahim had also earned the title of Mir Ard, in which capacity he would hear on Emperor Akbar's behalf the petitions addressed to the latter. Rahim was also the tutor of Prince Salim, Akbar's son and the future Mughal Emperor Jahangir, under whom he served for 21 years after Akbar's death in 1605 CE. However, Rahim's enduring legacy lies in his contributions as a refined and enlightened intellectual, poet, scholar, a spiritual leader, and patron of arts and architecture. It is worth noting that despite being a successful military general, Rahim's poetry and other written works do not refer to his life as a soldier. Rahim's syncretic values provided an early bridge between India's linguistic, cultural, and religious diversities. As a practitioner of universality, Catholicity, and inclusivity, Rahim led by example in demonstrating that being a Muslim did not prevent him from articulating his devotion and love for Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, and other Hindu deities. Rahim therefore stands tall among the Bhakti poets of his period. Let us focus on some of his devotional couplets. गति सरनागति राम की भव सागर की नाव रहीमन जगत उद्धार को और न कछु उपाव. Rahim says that the only way to attain salvation is through devotion to Lord Ram, who represents the omnipresent consciousness. Let us see another couplet dedicated to Lord Ram. राम नाम जान्यो नहीं जान्यो सदा उपाधि कही रहीम तिहि आपुनो जन्म गवायो वादी. Rahim says that those who never tried to understand Lord Ram and focused only on money, titles, and meaningless arguments have wasted their lives. Let us see one couplet dedicated to Lord Krishna. जो बड़ेन को लघु कहें नहीं रहीम घटी जाहीं गिरधर मुरलीधर कहें कुछ दुख मानत नाही. Rahim emphasizes that calling a big thing small does not diminish its status, just as calling a mountain carrier a flute player does not diminish the status of Lord Krishna. Let us see another couplet dedicated to Lord Krishna. तय रहीम मन आपुनो किन्हो चारु चकोर निसी बासर लागो रहे Krishna Chandra ki or. Rahim encourages people to remove distractions and focus on Lord Krishna, just like Chakor, the mythological bird which keeps looking at the moon. अच्युत चरण तरंगिनी शिव सिर मालती माल हरि न बनायो सुर सरी कीजो इंदव भाल. Rahim prays to Mother Ganga, the holy river that resides at the feet of Lord Vishnu but adorns the head of Lord Shiv. Rahim seeks salvation to become like Lord Shiv so that he can give Mother Ganga the same respect Lord Shiv gives her by placing her on his head. Rahim adds that his respect for Mother Ganga will not allow him to set foot in the holy river. Rahim knew multiple languages like Braj, Awadhi, Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, and Turkish. Perhaps he also had some knowledge of Portuguese, as it was during his active years that multiple Jesuit missions from Goa visited the Mughal courts of Akbar and Jahangir. It has been documented that this tomb was used as a quarry between the 18th and early 20th centuries, which had severely damaged its structure. Marbles and red sandstones were taken away from this tomb to build other monuments in Delhi, including the Safdarjung tomb not very far from this monument. This tomb was therefore in an extremely bad condition when its preservation and restoration started in 2014. This major restoration project was undertaken by Aga Khan Trust for Culture together with the Archaeological Survey of India and the Interglobe Foundation. The restoration project continued for 6 years, following which this tomb was reopened to public on 17 December 2020, Rahim's birth anniversary. This monument is situated in the heart of Delhi. It is very close to the Humayun tomb and the Dargah of Nizamuddin Aulia. However, unlike the other two places, there are hardly any visitors in this monument. As you can observe, this tomb is made of red sandstone, buff sandstone, and marble. The plan of this lofty double-storied tomb is plain square. It consists of an arcaded ground floor with 17 arches on each of the 4 sides. Many of these arches and niches have floral and geometric designs and carved medallions with varying designs. Let us look at some of these beautiful and intricate medallions. What is unique about it is that even peacocks, deeply associated with Lord Krishna and other Hindu deities, are represented here. It is clearly a reflection of Rahim's enlightened personality because depictions of humans, animals, or birds are absent from other Mughal monuments. The outer dome was originally clad with marble. 4 chhatris are strategically placed at the corners of the central dome, giving it a perfectly balanced look. There are 4 centrally placed double heightened and deeply recessed archways with small doors on each of the 4 sides of the tomb. The interiors of Rahim's tomb stand out for their elegance, beauty, and simplicity. The interiors have been restored to its original glory to a great extent. This was made possible as much of the 400-year-old incised plaster patterns and paint had remained intact. They were simply covered with years of accumulated grime and soot, which were painstakingly removed during the restoration work. These walls are decorated with different motifs, elaborate floral designs, and intricate geometric patterns. True to Rahim's eclectic personality representing diverse influences, you can see liberal use of swastik, which is deeply connected with ancient Indian culture and civilization and has multiple meanings. A divine symbol in Hinduism, it is associated with Lord Ganesh, the remover of obstacles and an embodiment of well-being, prosperity, and good fortune. The lotus flower, closely associated with the sacred and spiritual aspects of Indian civilization, has also been prominently represented in this monument. Of course, the walls of this tomb chamber have the usual patterns, forms, and Arabic calligraphy which are commonly found in Mughal architecture. This is the burial place of Rahim and his wife Mahbano. Since their names are not inscribed, how would you know which one belongs to Rahim and which one is that of his wife? Well, let me share with you the simple principle followed by the Mughals for indicating the sex of the occupants. It is marked by two carved symbols. The one showing the writing instrument indicates a male, and the one showing a writing slate indicates a female. So it is clear that the one on the left belongs to Rahim. Those of you who are familiar with the Mughal architecture, including the Taj Mahal, would know that the original graves are situated inside the tomb chamber beneath this floor. However, that chamber is not open to the public. These water tanks, fountains, and drains were functional over 400 years ago. It was a feat of hydraulic engineering that water from the ground level was lifted to these tanks and fountains on this terrace. Despite an effort during the restoration work, it was not possible to find out the mechanism that was deployed for lifting water to this terrace. Rahim was a contemporary of Goswami Tulsi Das, a literary giant and an all-time great who wrote the Ramcharitmanas. While researching for this film, I came across an interesting exchange between Tulsi Das and Rahim. While giving alms to the poor, Rahim did not make eye contact with the alms taker but humbly kept his eyes downwards. When Tulsi Das came to know about Rahim's typical style of giving alms, he wrote the following couplet and dispatched it to Rahim. ऐसी देनी देन ज्यूं कित सीखे हो सैन ज्यों ज्यों कर ऊंचो करो त्यों त्यों नीचे नैन. Which means, where did you learn to give alms in such a way in which your hands are raised high and your eyes are lowered? Conscious that Tulsi Das knew the answer, but he was merely encouraging him to write a couplet, Rahim sent the following couplet to Tulsi Das. देनदार कोई और है भेजत जो दिन रैन लोग भरम हम पर करे तासो नीचे नैन. Which means the giver is someone else, an obvious reference to God who gives day and night. But the world gives the credit to me, so I lower my eyes in humility. Irrespective of whether this beautiful exchange between Tulsi Das and Rahim is a historical fact or an anecdotal story, it is undeniable that both these literary giants were contemporaries and bhakti poets as well. As I mentioned earlier, Rahim ke dohe or the couplets of Rahim are taught in schools. Just as I was introduced to Rahim during my school days over 3 decades ago, our daughter Avila is learning about Rahim as part of her school curriculum. Let us hear one of Rahim's couplets from her.
तरवर फल नहीं खात है सरवर पियत न पान कही रहीम पर काज हित संपत्ति सच्चही सुजान.
Rahim says that just as trees do not eat their own fruits and ponds do not drink their own water, similarly, good people accumulate wealth for the welfare of others. Let us hear one couplet from Meshika as well.
समय पाए फल होत है समय पाए झरी जात सदा रही नहीं एक सी का रहीम पचिता.
Rahim says that when the right time comes, the fruits grow on the tree, and when the time comes, they fall. Likewise, someone's condition does not always remain the same. Therefore, it is useless to repent in times of sorrow. Some of the couplets of Rahim are inscribed on the stone slabs installed during the tomb's renovation. Let us focus on one of them. रहीमन धोखे भाव से मुख से निकसे राम पावत पूरम परम गति कामा दिक्को धाम. Rahim says that uttering Ram's name even by accident brings about salvation regardless of one's vices like lust, etc. Let us look at some couplets of Rahim on the importance of various desirable qualities. बड़े बड़ाई ना करें बड़े न बोले बोल Rahiman Hira kab kahe lakh taka mero mol. Rahim says that great people never praise themselves, just as diamonds never claim that they are valuable. रूठे सूजन मनाइए जो रूठे सौ बार, रहीमन फिरी फिरी पोहिए टूटे मुक्ताहार. Underlining the importance of good people in one's life, Rahim advises that if such people get upset with you, you should take initiative to win them over every time, just as you would repair a pearl necklace every time it breaks. राम न जाते हरिन संग सिए न रावण साथ, जो रहीम भावी कतहूं होत अपने हाथ. Rahim says that if the future or destiny were in our control, neither Ram would have gone after the golden deer nor Sita would have been abducted by Ravan. जो रहीम उत्तम प्रकृति का करी सकत कुसंग, चंदन विष व्याप्त नहीं लिपटे रहत भुजंग. Rahim says that a person of excellent nature cannot be corrupted by bad company, just as the sandalwood tree is untouched by the poison of the snakes wrapped around the tree. रहीमन देखी बड़ेन को लगू न दीजिए डारी, जहां काम आवे सुई कहा करे तरवारी. Rahim says that we should never despise the little one on seeing the big one. We ought to remember that a sword is of no use where a needle is required. रहीमन निजमन की बिथा मन ही राखो गोए, सुनी इट लई हैं लोग सब बाटी न लई हैं कोय. Rahim says that a person should keep his sorrow to himself because others will only make fun of him and no one will actually share his sorrow. Rahim had his own atelier for his creative and literary expressions. Rahim had commissioned an illustrated translation of Ramayana into Persian. He also commissioned a copy of Razmnama, the Persian translation of Mahabharat. Rahim had translated Babarnama from Chagatai Turkish into classical Persian language. He had also commissioned a set of Ragmala paintings. Apart from his couplets, Rahim wrote 2 books on astrology in the classical Sanskrit language. Their names are Khet Kautukam and Dwatrimshad Yogvali. As a patron of arts and architecture, Rahim built caravansarais, libraries, mosques, water canals, hammams, tanks, and gardens in Agra, Delhi, Gujarat, Lahore, Malwa, and Burhanpur. You can see this majestically fluttering Indian tricolour from the gardens of Rahim's tomb. Like the Humayun tomb nearby, this tomb is also situated in the middle of a lush green and a spacious garden with pathways. The presence of plants and trees make this tomb even more attractive. We saw numerous lemon trees in this garden. Here is a massive neem tree very close to one of the corners of this monument. Following Akbar's death, Rahim served under Emperor Jahangir for 21 years. Although Rahim was Jahangir's tutor in his childhood, in the beginning of his reign, Jahangir doubted the loyalty of Rahim and his sons to such an extent that he ordered the killing of his 2 sons who were falsely accused of being traitors. It is sad but not surprising, as the Mughals were known for their fratricidal and bloody successions. Let me now show you a colorful gallery in this renovated campus where you will find many interesting details about the life and works of Rahim, including his couplets or Rahim ke Dohe as they are known popularly. This gallery captures the checkered history of this monument and describes its architectural qualities as well. It also highlights the importance of the major conservation and restoration work from 2014 to 2020, which has transformed this tomb into a visitable place. रहीमन धागा प्रेम का मत तोड़ो चटकाए, टूटे से फिर ना जुड़े, जुड़े गांठ पड़ी जाए. Rahim cautions us not to snap the delicate thread of love and friendship because once it is broken, it is difficult to unite it, and even if we manage to do it, there appears a knot in it. The poet who wrote this and hundreds of such popular couplets is buried here. I hope that after watching this film, some of you will definitely visit this monument. And do remember that as a monument dedicated to a woman, Rahim's tomb predates the Taj Mahal by decades. I will soon return with another interesting dimension of life in Delhi. Until then, take care. Namaskar.
Dim dum da na da dim da na na dim dum da na da dim da na dim dum da na dim dum da na da dim da na o da ni da na di da na na o da ni da na di da na na da na da di na da dim dum da na da dim da na dim dum da na da dim da na dim